want to get back in the UFC. I'm sure you talk to your man, you're laying in bed with your man, you're like, I think I'm going to go back to the UFC. For the viewers that don't know this, and I know this because I retired, and they made it very clear, hey, homeboy, we know you're retiring, going to do other stuff. If you get the bug to come back, we still own your ass. That was basically the email I got from him. It said, good luck.
Yep.
You didn't get like this cool trophy or send off, like a cool gold jacket.
Just to let you know, we wish you all the best, but you're still on a leash.
When you retire, it doesn't mean your contract's over.
Exactly.
All it does is freeze your contract. So you have to, if you come back, you still owe them those fights.
Yeah.
So your contract
unless they choose to do otherwise. It's a very one-sided,
Yes, they own everything. So you decide you want to come back, and they own your rights, so you know you're gonna go back to UFC, and you know, because you're a smart girl, that if you go back to UFC, one championship is probably gonna be out of the picture. So you're gonna have to move all your family, everything back. So you tell your man, and he says,
he's like, just to keep in mind, you know, this is what's gonna have to happen, and like, we have 2 kids now, too.
Yes,
it's not gonna be
2 little critters.
It's not gonna be, mind you, we were never together while I was fighting.
So he doesn't know this side of it.
He doesn't know this side. Definitely. We've never been in a fight camp together. He's fought, but I never have. So this is uncharted territory for us as well.
And he was supportive about it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's the most supportive
really?
about
That's
anything
awesome.
that I want to do or be or think about. But he's my rock, so he always makes sure that I kind of think about everything, because I'm very flighty. I'm very kind of like, squirrel, you know, if I see this, I'm like, I want to do that, I want to do this, you know, and I kind of I'm so passionate, like I'm very,
Which
very
is good,
passionate.
but also can be trouble.
Exactly, because sometimes I just jump around and I don't always think things through, and he's always like, you got to think about all these things.
Calculating.
Thank you. Yeah, the things that I don't like filing papers and things like that. He's good at that. I'm terrible at those things, you know?
So you tell him you want to fight, and then the first thing you do is email the UFC.
I actually reached out to Dana on Instagram. I didn't want to send him a text because I wanted to know if he read it, right?
Yeah.
So me just being a little controlling in that. So I sent him a text to say, hey, I want to fight again.
And when's the last time you
that look
talked to
like?
Dana in any facet?
Oh, a few months ago at this
Oh,
point.
okay,
Yeah.
so you guys are cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Actually, last time I texted him was, he claimed that I had no surgery before I fought Amanda, and he was like, I told her she should have waited, but he was totally wrong in that. Like, I don't know why he remembers it that way. I did wait till I retired to fix my nose.
Smart.
And it's like, do you regret that you got your nose? I'm like, no, I've actually really liked being able to breathe out of my nose the past 4 years. Pretty sure I'll break it again, but
yeah,
that's what doctors are for, right?
So you DM him, and was the DM like, hey, ready to come back?
Yeah, basically.
Basically?
And he just read it and didn't respond. And then I read, then I sent him another one, and it got to be like 5 DMs, and pretty soon I'm writing these novels, and I'm like, you're just reading
it. And 5 DMs over like a few days, or we're talking weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it was probably at least over a week, because I know he's a busy guy, and
his
you
DMs
I'm like, okay.
must be insane.
I'm like, look, I'm telling you, I want to fight again. You own my contract, so tell me, if you don't want me to fight,
let me out. Yeah.
You got to at least answer me, though, because I got some big decisions to make. And that's kind of what I came down to. I was like, I will hunt you. I know where you work. Like, I'll hunt you down if I have to.
Yeah.
And it got to that point. I was like, look, I need to know before I move my family back that I kind of have a place to go to.
Such a big decision, yeah. Because not just you.
Yeah. And
kids,
then after, like, all this that I wrote, he writes, come home.
Oh, wow. Gangster.
Come home. Look, I took that as, like, put your money where your mouth is.
He's probably viewed as, he gets that all the time from fighters and stuff like that. He's like, you ain't gonna do shit.
Exactly.
And then just come home, and then, so you take him for his word. You come home, and then just show up at the UFC Institute and was like, what's up, dude?
Want to talk.
What's up, man?
Yeah.
And was he like, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, basically. It's like, what do you want? And I was like, I want to fight. Like, didn't I make that clear and all this? Did you not read them? And he was like, okay. And he still seemed apprehensive. Like, I felt like he just wasn't sure to really believe me or not, you know? So over the next 30, 40 minutes, we just had kind of an in-depth conversation. He was like, why? He's like, are you hurting for money? I'm like, no, I'm making really good money.
Yes.
So, like, actually, I'll have to win my next 3 fights to make more in 1 year than I would with 1 championship.
Okay.
Win.
Yeah, dicey.
So it's like, I was making good money with 1 championship. And to be honest, it's nowhere near as difficult as being a fighter. You know, it's a full-time job.
To his credit, it's a good question. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
So you want to fight, and does he go, okay, we'll get you a fight? And then, no, he doesn't.
No.
What's he say?
So he tried to leave me with, all right, well, I'll get back to you. And I was like, no. I was like, no. I was like, you gotta tell me.
Like, dude,
are
I
you...
moved. Like,
Yeah.
my
Like,
kids
I'm
are
here.
waiting, man. What the fuck?
I'm
I
here.
got a scooter in the car. We're waiting for the good news, man. We're going to Benihana's after this. Yeah.
For sure. And so I was like, so are you leaning towards yes or leaning towards no? And he kind of starts to chuckle because I'm leaning towards yes. It's like, okay, 135 or 145. And mind you, this is back in September or October. And he's like, I'm thinking 45. But then since then, this division's kind of like
It's just
falling
kind of
apart, so
falling
I don't
apart. That
really-
division's only being around as long as Amanda wants it to be around. So if she
Yeah.
goes, hey, I'm done at 45, that whole division's gone.
Yeah. So I don't know if that was his thought process at the time, like bring me in at 145 if she was talking about leaving.
Good story.
I don't know, but I want options. So I'm like, look, at this point, I made the decision. I'm going to go down to 35. There's a lot of women there. I'll be able to stay busy and fight. I've got 2 years, and I just want to dedicate, my everything to that sport. Or at least that's how I see this. My 2-year plan, my 6 fights. Probably retire at that
Yeah,
point.
and I'm sure for the UFC, like you're by far one of the biggest names in the sport. So with him being a little hesitant, that's probably him just playing hardball. Because of course they want you back. Like it's gonna be great for the division.
Yeah,
There's so many fun matchups.
I would have thought so, but I
You're hoping to
think,
be like, yes, you're back, you moved,
Right?
yes.
Yeah,
But he's
and
like,
he
what
was
are you
like,
doing
no.
here?
Yeah, exactly. He was like, no, he didn't give me that response. So maybe a little bit of hardball, maybe a little bit of poker face, and maybe a little bit concerned too, wanting to make sure that the sport hadn't passed me by, that I was coming back for the right reasons. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get all that.
That I'm not
yeah,
hurting
I'm
for
with
money,
him on
that I'm not
yeah.
passionate,
Because
that
nothing's
this
more of a
is-
bummer when you see a fighter come back, you can tell they're not into it.
Exactly.
They're just taking an ass whooping for the
Exactly.
paycheck.
So I get it. But he told me, he's like, well, 145 is a rematch with Amanda. And I'm like, so is 135.
Eventually, I mean, yeah.
I'm going to
she
get
owns
there
both, yeah.
one way or the other.
Yeah.
That's my mission, is to be the baddest woman on the planet again. So
Yeah.